Xanda.
Good day, everyone. This is Sandy Hilger, and I coordinate the North Central Texas Caregiver Teleconnection on behalf of North Central Texas Area Agency on Aging and the Dallas Area Agency on Aging. Today, we're going to talk about caregiving in the holidays from stress to success. Isn't that a powerful title? I'll be monitoring the chat, and we encourage you to post questions and please add your stories if you would like, and we'll keep our conversation as free flowing as we can. Our speaker today is the marketing director for the Family Caregivers Online website, publishing electronic newsletters, blogs, social media content, and helping coordinate caregiver teleconnection sessions. Since 2015, she has worked closely with me as the program director, supported by funding by the Dallas Area Agency on Aging and the North Central Texas Area Agency on Aging. Paula has been a family caregiver for her parents and grandparents. She holds a bachelor's degree in business administration. Paula is president of Strategic Online Solutions, providing marketing consulting, training, and content creation for solo consultants, small businesses, and nonprofit organizations. Paula, welcome, and I know you have a lot to share with us today.
Thank you, Xanda. I'm so happy to be here and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I know how busy you are as a caregiver, especially with the holidays approaching, so I'll just dive right in. The goal of today's webinar is simple. It's to help people stop dreading the season and give you some concrete steps to make the holidays feel manageable, meaningful, and less stressful. We're going to do this today by covering a series of strategies to help you. This first step is to redefine expectations. One of the things people torture themselves with is paralyzing feelings of guilt and pressure to create that perfect holiday. But the reality is, the perfect holiday is a myth. It was a myth when we were young and had all kinds of energy, and it's still a myth now. So, we're going to talk about how to create, instead of a perfect holiday, a safe, meaningful, and manageable season. And we're going to do this by simplifying. For example, we'll discuss ways to cut your traditional to-do list in half, maybe give some of those to-do items to other people. We will talk about passing the torch for certain traditions. And this could be as simple as buying pre-made food instead of cooking everything from scratch, or sending more gift cards instead of gifts this year. Perhaps just decorating one room of your house, or maybe just one corner of your house. We're also going to dive into how to adapt traditions. For example, instead of a big dinner with the whole family, maybe you host a short, light brunch. We'll go over lots of examples of how we can do this. But the goal, we can't do that until we figure out what is important to us. So the goal is to find new ways to connect with our loved ones that honor the spirit of the holiday without overwhelming your care recipient or yourself. So, first thing we need to do is take a look at what's important to you, and what's important to your care recipient. What has to change? What's just too much? What can you let go of? And what can you pass on perhaps to other family members? So they put some thought into what traditions do you really love? Which ones are important to your family that you've always done? And make a list. But maybe there's certain foods that you always look forward to. We'll find a way to either make it, buy it, or have it delivered. Maybe you always looked forward to the Christmas concert at your church. Perhaps it's just watching a Christmas movie together. Or maybe you just love the decorations. For many people, it's all about the decorations. But make a list of what's truly important first, and then make another list about what you don't like about the holidays. Um, Maybe it's just the mess. There's a lot to clean up after the holidays. There's so many things that can make this time of year more complicated and exhausting. So this is your opportunity to get clear on what has to change. Last thing we want is to create more stress, more anxiety than you already have by being a busy caregiver. There's also, we'll talk about issues around family communication, relationships, and the state of your care recipient's health and your health and your energy levels. So let's be honest about the reality for caregivers. The holiday season can bring stress, frustration, and sometimes even anger. It's not always about the peace and goodwill we hear about. It's, I hate to say it, but it's common to feel resentful this time of year towards family members who aren't helping you. If you're shouldering the burden all year long, your emotional bandwidth is already low. So we need to prepare for that before the holidays and people come around. Um, we're going to look at what takes a drain on your energy, whether it's cooking or decorating, um, and things that just are not going to bring you joy because your focus right now is where it should be. It's on care, it's on caregiving for your loved ones. So that takes priority over everything. And the holidays can also be more stressful if your care recipient is starting to show cognitive impairment, whether it be from a type of dementia or Alzheimer's. This adds a lot of complexity to the dynamic. Um, Plus, a lot more worry for you. You worry that they won't be able to fully participate or that big changes in their routine will cause stress. So we need to take all of that in mind as we're looking at what's important to us and what we can let go of. Our next strategy is about communication. When it which comes with an unexpected silver lining. The holidays can, in fact, provide a unique opportunity to improve family dynamics and to seek support. This is your chance to engage people who may not be around often. Um, Learning how to effectively seek support is key to your success as a caregiver. So one of the things you can do is before people come to visit you, send an email or a text to them outlining your care recipient's current status, health, and routines. Give people an idea of what to expect so that they don't show up and flip out. Um, just give them a heads up. That'll make things much smoother and calmer when people get there. Also, set boundaries. This is about managing external trust that visitors can bring. For example, ask them not to bring their 150-pound dog. Ask them to leave the dog at doggy daycare. Um, you may love this dog and they may love you, but if they're going to knock people over, it's a safety issue. And state any needs you might have in advance. And I'm talking about non-negotiable needs. For example, if they have toddlers that come down with head colds, then they need to stay home, especially if your care recipient is dealing with health challenges and perhaps has a weakened immune system. So it's a non-negotiable. It might have been okay 10 years ago, but at this point, again, it's safety and health first. Um, Another example would be ask for specific help instead of waiting for someone to offer help. You can say things like, could you please sit with mom while I take a 30-minute walk or a 30-minute nap or bubble bath? This is an opportunity to get a little respite in if you can. Um, I also want to say a word about difficult conversations. Sometimes awkward moments can arise, and especially with family and relatives, and have a little phrase ready in the back of your mind. Something like, it's tough when people don't help, but my focus right now is just enjoying our time together today.
Mhm.
And Consider saving the big conversations, the conversations that might become emotional for later. For example, if it's time to move to a memory care facility or assisted living, save that conversation for January, especially if there are young children in the room. Zenda, do you have anything you want to add about any of this?
I absolutely agree. Very often there is a lot of avoidance of things during the holiday, but that might be another prep thing you can have, you can set ahead of time. In January, maybe we can set up a time or a Zoom call that we can talk about some of mom's needs right now. Absolutely. During the holidays is not the time to get into, but very often can be um, stressful and a source of conflict within families.
Right. And you want to have fun at the holidays. It's really about connecting and remembering what family love is all about.
Right. Not avoid it, but just timing is everything.
Exactly. So our next strategy is about asking family for help. Proactive communication means identifying and securing the help you need. The holidays are a great time to mobilize your support network and be specific. Don't just say, I need help.
Mhm.
Identify what other family members can do to help. This could be grocery shopping. If it's specifically around a holiday, it could be decorating, it could be managing a financial task. Perhaps it's something like, can you, during the year, find and manage a lawn care service for me?
Mhm.
Especially if they're out of town, they might be able to take that off your plate. There is no shame in asking for extra help during the holidays or year round. And if you're feeling shame about needing support, just acknowledge that. Be real and vulnerable. Often that will help family members be more receptive.
And if I can add something else to that,
Sure.
it's a great idea to write down in as much detail as possible a list of all the tasks that you perform or you do to help your family member. And even maybe provide a question mark or something of those areas that you might need assistance. Because very often families don't realize how much is involved, and they don't know about the details.
Writing that list is important for another reason. What if something unexpected happens to
Yes,
your health and you've got to
yes,
go into a hospital? You
yes.
need that list for a temporary caregiver so they can step in.
Hmm.
So, very good. And we talk a lot about that on our website too.
Hmm.
All right, let's get to a touchy one. How do you deal with overbearing and interfering family members? And we all have them. You have the clueless uncle that wants to take everybody to the mall, or the overbearing sister that insists we do things her way. Well, the answer to this is boundaries. Politely but firmly state what you need and what you cannot handle. So, for example, you could say something like, I appreciate the offer, but we need to stick to mom's schedule today.
Hmm.
So, the holidays, they can highlight the need to balance your caregiving duties with your relationships to other family members and with your loved one. Remember to set aside brief moments, even 5 minutes, to connect with these family members who are supporting you. Okay, let's see. Strategy 4, avoid overcaring. Um, next we're going to talk about prioritizing your own needs, but first we have to address a behavior that many caregivers struggle with, and that's overcaring. So ask yourself, do you really need to do everything you're doing right now? Many caregivers jump in too quickly, often out of love or efficiency, but this can, in some circumstances, disempower your care recipient. So your goal is to empower your care recipient to remain as independent and self-sufficient as they can. Even small tasks matter. Now, obviously, use your discernment. This can change day by day. Don't never force anything on them, but just assess where you can step back and ask yourself some key questions like, what tasks can my care recipient still do? Even if it takes longer, you can do it quicker and faster, but if they can still do it, like Fred, maybe it's something like buttoning the shirt up. Um, Obviously, this will vary daily, so always check in. How much control can your care recipient continue to have over their own health and life choices? This is a tough one, but your job is to support their autonomy when possible, even if their choices aren't your preference. What can you let go of to allow your loved one to make as many of his or her own choices as possible? This has a bonus. It helps preserve their dignity and saves your energy. Xander, do you want to add anything to this one?
That last one, let go of control. How much do we really control anyway? It's let go of the need or this compulsion to try to control. We can manage, but most of us are not very successful at controlling somebody else, especially our relatives during the holidays. But it's the idea of what can I manage, what can I ask, and giving myself a break. Let go of, work on. It's a habit.
Yeah.
So work on the idea of letting go of that need to control and just change your focus to, well, what can I really do here?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Um, Next, we're going to talk about you and prioritizing respite. If you haven't heard this word, respite is it's a fancy word that means temporary relief. But in the caregiving world, we always use the term respite in conjunction with self-care. I'm sure you've heard the term you cannot pour from an empty cup. Self care is not a luxury, it is literally a caregiving task. It is part of your job. You have to be well enough to be a caregiver. And it's not always about health. Sometimes it's just 15 minutes of quiet time, no phone, no obligations. It's a very powerful thing. And treat it like a doctor's appointment you can't miss. Um, I remember when I was caregiving for my stepdad, I would go into the bathroom. That was the one place where I had sanctuary and he wouldn't call for me or seem to need me while I was in there. And I would sometimes just sit for 5 minutes and breathe. Um, Now, if another family member asks you what you need, ask them for time off. Ask a visiting sibling to take a full caregiving shift for an afternoon just so you can recharge or rest.
Mhm.
And then another powerful one is learn to say no. It is your most powerful tool. Say no to extra commitments, extra tasks, and guilt. Preserve your energy for what matters most, and that is caregiving. I remember I used to use the phrase, thank you for thinking of me, but I'll have to say no at this time.
Mhm.
So it pains them, but it's very clear.
Mhm.
And as you can see from this graphic, there are many types of self-care, physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, professional. I mean, each focuses on a different aspect of our overall health and well-being. Your your goal here is to try to be in balance with everything.
May I jump in about something as a caregiver
Sure.
myself and looking at this self care? Many people have said to me, take care of yourself, put your own needs first. And what I have discovered, and some of you who are listening in with us making it maybe can identify, sometimes self care is moments. It may be 15 minutes, it may be 5 minutes. It
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean half a day or a whole day. It's moments that you can carve out or take advantage of and do some breathing, read something that's important to you, whether it's spiritual or entertaining, but just starting to look at self care as moments, not necessarily hours and days. It did make a difference for me.
Yeah, that's great advice because you don't always have an afternoon or a day. Okay, so here are, I love this list. This is 15 ways to take care of yourself because self-care isn't one big activity, it's a collection of small, consistent choices. So the first one is lower your expectations. If you feel a sense of failure, it's probably because your expectations are too high. Just let them go. Number two, recognize your limits, be realistic, be honest with yourself about what you can handle this season. It's okay if it's less than last year or years past. It's absolutely okay. Number three, use the power of the list. Write down what needs doing and stick only to those items. If it's not on the list, it can wait. Number four, apply the KISS principle. Keep it simple and sane. And apply it to everything: decorating, cooking, visiting. Simplicity leads to sanity. Number five, limits and boundaries. Uh, I'm sure you've heard this. No is a complete sentence. Just no. You don't have to explain, just no. Practice saying it kindly but firmly. Put a smile on your face and say no, but protect your time and protect your energy. And when stress hits, stop, take a moment, close your eyes, take 3 deep, slow breaths. It instantly recalibrates your nervous system. Again, your bathroom can be your best friend for things like that. Number seven, slow down. Rushing leads to mistakes, rushing leads to stress. Take your time, especially during hard tasks or tasks with your loved one. Number eight, sleep is not optional. Sleep is a priority. It's important. We all need sleep. Poor sleep will make your stress worse. So treat sleep and rest as essential as medication. Number nine, uh, schedule time for yourself and schedule overtime. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. Treat your personal time like a mandatory appointment. It's okay to tell people, I have an appointment at that time. It may be an appointment with yourself. It could be an appointment to take your loved one to the doctor, or it could just be an appointment with yourself. And again, you don't have to explain what the appointment is about. Number 10, try to make time for exercise. Movement is a stress reliever. Even a 5 or 10 minute walk will count. Even it's just bending over and straightening up a few times. I rarely can find a full 30 minutes or an hour in my workday to work out, but I can find 5 and 10 minute breaks. So that's how I do it, during the week. Number 11, try to have some fun. Do something genuinely enjoyable, even just for a few minutes every single day. Laughter, it's very powerful medicine, or reading a comforting book, or whatever it is that makes you feel good. For me, when I'm stressed out and I need to clear my mind, I'll often go to YouTube and I'll look for laughing baby videos or funny kitten or puppy videos. It takes everything out of my mind, keeps my mind from spinning, and just lets me kind of relax for a few minutes. Let's see, what are we? Number 12, listening to music. This can change your mood. It could be calming music if you need to relax, or it could be some upbeat music if you need to up your energy level. And many people have Alexa devices in their homes now. You can tell Alexa to play any genre of music that you like. Number 13, this one's about shopping. Try to avoid the crowds and stress of shopping at the malls. It can be overwhelming. The parking lot can be overwhelming with cars darting in and out and shopping carts, and people just in general not looking where they're going. So if you're going to do gifts, try to get them early or shop online, or ask a family member to go pick them up for you. Number 14, if you have a faith tradition, try to set a time for your spiritual practice. Lean into it. This is the time to lean into it. It will help you, if this is your practice, to find peace and connection. And number 15, be kind to yourself. This is the most important tip of all. Drop the self criticism. You are doing the hardest unpaid job on the planet. You're doing the best you can in an extremely difficult situation. So go easy on yourself and treat yourself with compassion. Now, Xanda, I know that was a really long list, but do you have anything you want to add to it?
Um, the forgiveness part, I think, is very important for caregiver. Forgiving ourselves for our own, what we think are shortcomings, or forgiving that person we're caring for any past things that have happened, and finding in that relationship that love or acceptance or respect or whatever positive emotion that you can find with them, it frees you and it frees them.
Yeah, very important. I love that. Well, next thing I want to dive into traveling, tips for traveling. So we've finished our core strategies, but and that those are most helpful when you're at home. But what if you have to travel or visit during the holidays? First, check the scope. Are you going long distance or just across town? A short car ride to a local relative's house requires different planning than, of course, an airline flight. And before you do anything, consult with your care recipient. This is crucial for autonomy. Ask them how long do they want to be away from home? How long are they comfortable being away from home? Never assume what they can handle. Never force them to do something because you feel it's good for them. Really check in with them and see what they can handle. Their preference should be your deciding factor.
And
Um, yeah.
Paula, this is one time that we can tell them about some of the resources that are available on Family Caregivers Online, including there's a checklist about traveling with your care receiver.
Yes, we've done extensive writing on that on our website, and I will help me remember. We'll send a note to
Okay.
Minerva to include
Yeah,
that.
I've got a whole list that we can send to Minerva, and you'll all receive that after the session, as well as with the PowerPoint presentation that Paula is doing.
Right, great. Well, what if your care recipient is living in a facility? Travel just may not be feasible or advisable, but you have a few options. You can talk to the facility and ask them if you can host a small gathering there, and if their policy allows it. If you can take your care recipient out, keep the visit short, try to keep it calm and quiet, and more than anything, just return them before they become overly tired or agitated. So try to talk to your facility's social worker or nursing staff about your care recipient's energy levels and what they recommend for outings. More on travel. If travel is feasible, meticulously planning is your best defense against unexpected stress. I'll go over a few of the essentials, and of course, we'll send you our checklist. But the most critical step is confirm all medical needs. Ensure you have ample medications packed, including any necessary refills. Um, and documentation. Uh, Another thing we do on our website is we teach people how to create a binder. Most people keep it in their kitchen that has all of your care recipients' medical needs and what's going on. Bring that binder with you if you can. Of course you can. And that will help you if you're out traveling. If you're traveling far, like out to a different city, identify doctors and hospitals at that destination just in case of an emergency. See if they're covered, in your network or whatnot. Um, and while you're this one's difficult, but while you're try to maintain as much of your routine as possible, starting with food and clothing. Um, Regarding the meal schedule, ask yourself, do any of the medications you or your care recipient do they require food? And if so, pack some familiar, non-perishable snacks. Dress for comfort and ease. Traveling is not the fashion event that it was back in the day. It's more important that you dress in layers so you can manage different indoor and outdoor temperatures. Um, you might want to pack a change of clothes, even just for a day trip, just in case there's an accident or anything goes wrong. Um, and then when you get to your destination, perhaps you're visiting a relative, take look in advance at what that environment's going to be like. Do they have young kids, lots of pets? Will there be music and noise? What will the stimulation level be like? It's very important for those caring for people with types of dementia. Um, if it's going to be really chaotic over there, call in advance and ask that if there's a guest room available where you or your loved one can take a place to rest, decompress, maybe take a short nap. And don't hesitate to ask questions and make requests before you visit relatives. Just call them ahead of time, let them know uh, what to expect with your care recipient's health, what your needs are, and make sure all the logistics are in place and check and see if there's a quiet room or space where you can rest if needed. Okay, so if you get there, things to do with family. The holidays are fundamentally about connection. So here are some tips for making interactions enjoyable and stress-free. This could include things like watching a favorite holiday movie together or playing games, maybe listening to specific holiday music. Um, Another thing you can do is set time limits. Whether you're attending a gathering or hosting a gathering, set clear arrival and departure times. This will protect you and your loved one from overstimulation. It protects you from exhaustion. So let's go back to the KISS principle. Keep it short, sweet, sane, and hopefully successful. So it could be something like like a manageable 2 hours. Uh, let's say you're visiting someone and you know it's going to take an hour to drive there. Tell them you'll be there from 12 to 2 in the afternoon, or maybe it's from 5 to 7, because it'll be another hour drive back. That's 4 hours. So you want to be able to leave the gathering on a positive note before fatigue sets in. Next, I want to touch on passing the torch to the next generation or another family member. This is a wonderful way to lighten your load and to honor traditions. It could be something as sharing your coveted recipe for that special magic cookie bar you make, or your tips for making the world's greatest stuffing. Share that with someone. Um, and maybe teach them how to make that holiday dish. It could be um, helping them to getting them to help you wrap gifts or tell the story of a specific ornament. This helps create new memories while preserving the spirit of the old ones. And it not only reduces your stress today, but ensures these traditions will continue smoothly in the future. Zenda, do you have anything you want to add to this one?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, yes, and yes. And that setting some limits to how long you're going to be somewhere, very important to that care receiver so that they don't get to the point they don't want to ever go anywhere because it's so stressful and tiring. And one other thing, the noise issue that you referred to a while ago,
Mhm.
that can be a real problem with music that maybe sometimes gets turned way up over the conversation. But just remember, many older adults don't handle, especially if there's any dementia, don't handle a lot of noise very well. And it just creates more stress for them. And whatever stress for them is going to be stress for us as caregivers.
Good points. Very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about kids. If the children are young, encourage them to sit and talk with the older relative. I love this quote by Sister Joan Chisler. Young people love old people to talk to them, not complain or harp or correct them, just to talk to them about the substantial things in life. If the children are older, ask them to run errands for you. Maybe if you drove there, maybe it's asking them to take your car and go fill it up with gas so you don't have to do that as you're leaving.
Mhm.
It could be if they're visiting you, maybe it's help with some housework or light maintenance. Maybe there's some honeydew tasks they can take over for you. Do not hesitate to ask. For some older children, they really like having a little task to do like that. Um, so just to touch on food, plan your meals around medication times, or bring your own food. Um, I think we covered this earlier, but ask your carers about how long they want to stay at another's home, if not eating at home. Um, if there's going to be a big table of people, allow your older adult to time to get to the table, clear the path, and give them, often they're going to be the oldest person in the room, so give them a place of honor at the table. Don't let Uncle Bob slip in there.
Mhm.
Okay. Just a quick minute on gift ideas. It's sometimes really, really tough to buy presents for older adults, but observe them. What do they like or don't like on a day-to-day basis? What have they received and never used? That's something you don't want to keep buying. And ask yourself, are you buying this because you think they like it, or if you think they need it? It probably won't be used, but gift cards are always a great choice, especially to favorite restaurants. You can use them to have food delivered. Um, some older adults like photos and family albums. So keep that in mind. If it's not a safe dish, candles, also bath gels, body lotions, aftershave. Sometimes it could be something like specialty tea or coffee, even food items if it meets their dietary guidelines. A really special gift could be a written letter by a family member, perhaps a letter that includes all the meaningful ways that your care recipient has touched their life. Take a look at their clothing. If they wear the same things every day, they could be getting worn out. You can replace those. Uh, Another unique gift is calendars. You can take photos into places like Office Depot and I think CVS, and they will turn those photos into a calendar for you, something that your loved one could admire and enjoy all year long. Let's see. Now, lastly, keep your sense of humor. So I've got a few little jokes I want to share with y'all, and then we'll wrap up and answer any questions that have come in. So I love this Christmas card. I was so sad when I used them all up. It really tickled me. But I have a joke for you. Then knock, knock,
Who's there?
Alaska.
Alaska who?
I'll ask you again, what do you want for the holidays? And I know the answer. I know the answer to this one. It's respite. We want a helping hand.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, so I have some jokes for cat lovers. This one is the last thing an ornament sees before it dies. A little kitty knocking it to the floor. And this poor gal. Oh, what did she get for Christmas? She got fat.
Uh-huh.
Okay, for you dog lovers. He says he hasn't been naughty this year, but he's about to be.
Can
If you
you
don't
blame
take
him?
this,
Can you blame him?
get this ridiculous costume off me. And then this one's kind of silly. It's a bad snow dog. He did a bad thing on the carpet and he's getting chastised for it. So ultimately, this is your season. It can be a successful one. Focus on the small moments of connection, not the sweeping, stressful perfection you feel pressured to create. Remember, you're doing an incredible job, the world's hardest job. So be kind to yourself and as kind to you as you are to your loved one. I want to end now with, I want to, Xanda and I both to talk a little bit about our program. As Xanda mentioned earlier, we're funded by two local area agencies on aging, And our website, we've been working on this. What year did you start this website,
Oh
Xander?
my goodness, it went back to 2003.
Wow,
Very primitive.
very primitive. We've rebuilt it many times over the
Uh-huh.
years, and it is loaded with educational content for family caregivers and professional caregivers.
And Paula is just outstanding.
Uh, I I am so grateful for the work that I do on this website because as I mentioned to you before we started, I'm in a position where I need to start providing long distance caregiving to my elderly sister. And because I've attended so many of these webinars, I know about area agencies on aging and different resources that are available. So now I need to dive into what's available in Coleman County, Texas.
Hmm.
But go to our website, we add a minimum of 15 informative blogs and articles for caregivers every month. We send out a newsletter twice a month that includes one of those articles, but also includes a list of all the free webinars and even some in-person webinars that are available for caregivers, both professional and family caregivers. And because we're publicly funded, we have the permission to grant you permission to reuse this presentation. If you want, I know Minerva's going to send out the PDF of the presentation, but if you want the PowerPoint, just contact us through our website and I'm happy to mail it to you and you can make it your own and use it for any educational program you may be giving to that supports caregivers. Xander, do you want to talk any more about this or just open it up for?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Everything and more. Um, the core of this presentation I started doing years ago, based on what caregivers were telling me, because we did sport groups and classes and whatever. And then Paula has taken it and further enhanced it and developed it to where it's just very comprehensive. And we hope you don't feel overwhelmed by the information. But once you get the PDF or the PowerPoint presentation, cherry pick what is the most helpful for you.
Mhm.
I'm I would like to pose a question to our listeners, and they can do it either by chat because we do have time for this. What one thing for this coming holiday, and the holiday starts with Thanksgiving, goes through Christmas, of course. What one thing through what Paula's been talking about do you want to change? Or you're going to change or willing to change about what you've been doing in the past? What one thing you can put it in chat?
I really love Minerva's. She answered that earlier. She said, you don't need 15 sides to go with your turkey or ham. And it's so true. We feel
Right.
like we have to cook
Mhm.
every traditional meal. No,
Mhm.
no, no.
Absolutely.
You're just going to end up with too many leftovers, too.
Exactly. Exactly. And let not only let people bring things, but ask them to. There's no reason people can't bring the napkins or the plates or the cups or whatever. They don't have to bring food necessarily. Um,
Yes, I love the idea of they sell really, really nice paper plates at the grocery
yes,
store now. And
yes. And
someone can bring that, and nobody needs to do dishes for an hour after hosting a party.
and a comment I made is because of my caregiving, I went through and I prioritized decorations from the past that meant a lot to me.
Hmm.
And there are few of them.
Hmm.
I don't put out as many, but the ones I do have some meaning for me.
Yes.
Somebody has written feeling guilty.
Good for you, Jill. I love it.
And by that, are you meaning you're gonna work on letting that go, Jill? Is that what your thinking is? Maybe you have some new strategies to, because, and everyone, the most common emotion of any caregiver is guilt.
Hmm.
Should I
Oh,
have done
sure.
more? Have I done, it's just goes with the territory. It is a constant companion. But Jill, what do you mean by feeling guilty? Is that something you want to work on? We'll wait for her to give. How about the rest of you? What one thing, and
Hey,
we're hoping, Jill, we hope you mean that that's the one thing you're going to work on and answer that question. What are you going to try to do differently? How about the rest of you? What are you going to try to do differently?
I have a suggestion.
What would
And
that be?
thank you, Jill. Jill says yes. That's what she's
Yes,
a good
letting it
feedback.
go.
I have
Excellent.
a suggestion. When I was caregiving for my husband when he was going through a long illness, instead of cooking all of the Thanksgiving gifts
Mm-hmm.
dishes on Thanksgiving, I cooked one dish a day,
Mm-hmm.
really over like a week and a half. So we got in all of his favorite dishes, just not all in one day, and that worked really well
Great
for
idea.
us.
That's a great idea. And everybody has a favorite dish.
Ah, Jill
Mine,
says her
mine is,
husband.
sorry?
Jill says her husband doesn't understand as much anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's some dementia there.
Hmm.
And let's see. Jose says, is it okay for a caregiver to show emotion during respite provided by another family member? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, my first response is, yeah, show emotion, but can you give us a little bit more about what you mean with that, Jose? And
Can we?
while you're typing that, Minerva says sometimes just watching a funny movie can lighten the mood, especially if it is one of the care receivers. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's a very, very much a tradition that everyone can get in on.
And a little bit about what Jose was is saying, you know, emotions are natural and even, you know, more heightened when you're a caregiver.
Hmm.
Um, oh wow, my wife takes care of her mother during the weekends for 48 hours straight.
Hmm.
That's a huge load.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
So any emotion she has
Hmm.
are
And
natural.
and hopefully you can have conversations, candid conversations with your wife about what that experience is like for her
Yeah. Yeah.
and how you can help her. And it may be something as simple as watching a movie with her or going down the block and bringing her a treat back. Just something that makes her feel valued.
Hmm.
And going back to boundaries, what we all are challenged with, especially as caregiver boundaries.
And often other family members, maybe younger families, they don't always understand what Mrs. Espinosa is dealing with on the weekends, and they have their needs and they want. It's a hard balancing act.
Mhm.
Kimberly says, "I will let my family members know in advance what to expect." Great idea. They
Mhm.
just sit back and watch me follow my parents around.
Yes, yes.
Uh, I
It,
will assign them time with each parent. That's such a great idea.
mhm. It was a real eye opener when I wrote down everything I did. It was an eye opener to me, first of all.
Mhm.
And then it was an eye opener because I asked our two sons, what can you help me with?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of them, when he hits the door now, there's a couple of things he automatically does because it was a challenge for me. And it was a small thing for him.
Yeah, he's a big, strong young man.
Yeah, yeah, but not so much for me.
Debbie's made a comment.
Debbie, when we lived in an adult independent living facility, we would schedule a movie party in the movie room. My husband would stay in the room watching movies while the other family members would greet guests. How about that?
Yeah, that's a great idea, great
It really
suggestion.
is.
And I love that you were in a facility where people could come visit like that.
Hmm.
That's really nice. Well, do we have any more questions? Oh, we've got our survey up.
We've got our survey up, and this is gives you a chance to give us some feedback as well as the presenter about how valuable this experience was. And it's only like 5 questions, I think. And if you would just take a couple of moments, that's very helpful for us in moving forward with programs that we offer. we won't have a December program, but we will have a January program. And Holly Glover or Holly Lowe is going to talk about critical conversations as well as touch on some of the emotions that caregivers have and
And Holly is very interesting.
stand.
She works for a
Yes,
really well-known,
yes,
large James L. West Center for Dementia Care. She's highly knowledgeable and skilled. She's a great presenter.
she is. She's a master at it.
And Kimberly says this has been helpful. I was stressed to take the time today. I know, Kimberly, it's hard to set aside time for you, but I'm so glad you found it helpful. I really
That's that's wonderful. Well, thank everybody for your time. If um, Paula, could you? This is a monumental question, probably, but is there a way that you could summarize for us what you think is the most important point for what you've been talking about?
It is okay to simplify. It's okay to say no.
Mhm,
You can do it with a smile on your face. People will adapt. Oh, remember the phrase, when you stop overperforming, others will stop underperforming.
mhm,
So
mhm,
you're in charge. You're the boss. So
mhm. And Minerva says present suggestions. If your loved one loves puzzles or coloring books, that is a great form of entertainment for them.
hmm
And it's good for their brain.
yes.
My husband plays mahjong on his phone,
Oh, that's nice.
and he has worked his way up to, and he has Parkinson's with dementia. And
hmm
it's been a really good workout for him because he doesn't like puzzles and he doesn't like word problem solving. But he loves to watch the History channels and the Discovery channels and is obsessed with Egypt. So there you go. Everybody's different.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Let's see. Uh, Minerva says, coloring books is great form of entertainment. I play that at least 10 minutes a day. LOL.
It's almost like a form of meditation. Solitaire,
Yes.
mahjong.
Yes.
Yeah, I play a merging game. It allows when my brain is just going,
Mhm,
going, going, it allows me to empty out my brain.
mhm. And to really focus
Yeah.
and go into a neutral mode somewhat.
Yeah, it's like it gives my monkey mind something to chew on
Right.
other than everything that's stressful or going on.
Right.
Well, Xanda, thank you for inviting me to be on today. I really, really enjoyed presenting, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be of service.
Paula, thank you. You do such a great job in your work, but also in doing this. You've walked the walk and you're talking the talk and appreciate your time today. Thank you everyone for your time and we look forward to welcoming you in January. Take care of yourself. Give some thought to some of the ideas we've been talking about today, and hopefully it will make your holidays a lot less stressful and more fun because it is possible to have fun. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.